I'm going to tell you about the late 800s, early 900s. There's going to be aggressive persecution of the Zoroastrians under the Abbasid dynasty, which I'll get to. And that's when you're going to see a mass exodus of Zoroastrians to an island off the coast of northwest India, the island of DIU, D-I-U. And that's where you're going to see the early settlement of Zoroastrians in India, where they'll be accepted by a local Hindu ruler who will accept Zoroastrians in India under the following stipulations. Number one, Zoroastrian women must wear saris like Hindu women do. Number two, Zoroastrians must hold their weddings at night so as not to interfere with Hindu weddings. Number three, Zoroastrians must explain their faith to the Hindu ruler so he understands what they believe, to make sure it's not a seditionist ideology that could undermine its authority. Okay? Fair enough? And to this day, the Zoroastrians inside of India, and most of them are in Mumbai or Bombay, are going to be known as Parsis, from the word Persian, which is what they're associated with. Now, Erica, you had a question or comment?
Yes. What was the second one?
Okay. That they wouldn't have their marriages during the daytime. They'd have them at night, so as not to interfere with Hindu weddings. Pamela, speak to me.
It's two things. So
oh, man.
Fire,
okay, I'm joking.
So fire, they always set the precedent that the fire was cleansing, though.
Right.
So where did they get that?
The Muslims misunderstood it.
They misunderstood it. Okay. So then the second
Remember that the Arabs are rustic. They're not literate, and they're not reading textbooks on Zoroastrianism, nor did they take the history of Iran at Queen's College. So they didn't know about that.
But they knew how to make money, the Arabs. They were like the Dutch almost. Dutch came here.
Yeah.
They just didn't know how,
Well, they in effect, basically, there are certain things they're familiar with. Wow, we're going to really, we're winding the tape there. Okay. First requirement is basically the Zoroastrian women must wear saris like the Hindu women. Okay, try to stay with me, my brothers and sisters. That's okay, that's okay. Okay, don't fight with me. I want to slap you around. No, that's okay. You got all three of them, though, Patrick. Oh. And Erica, you had a question or comment, or anyone? Right.
The temple you were mentioning somewhere, right?
I'm sorry?
The temple, Rockville County.
Yeah, Rockville County. I think it's in Suffolk. They used to have an old Zoroastrian temple on North Avenue, New Rochelle.
Is that Atashvaram, the temple?
I don't think it's an Atashvaram. I think it's a secondary Varam, but I can find out for you. You know, I will tell you, though, in most faiths, if you want to visit like a mosque and you come in peace, and of course you do what you dress properly and you have the head covering and you take off your shoes and you perform the ablutions, you're going to be received in peace. Most people are more than happy to share their faith with you if you're coming in with sincerity. The Zoroastrians now are very much like a closed religion, though, and they have a lot of intermarriage that almost borders on incest, first cousins, things like that, a very close group. Okay, and they tend to be xenophobic and somewhat suspicious of outsiders, and some of that has to do with the persecution they went under. Strangely enough, when the Ayatollah Khomeini had helped cement the Islamic Republic of Iran, 1979, 1980, a lot of Zoroastrians, I'll be with you a second, had actually begun to fear persecution. Some of them had left. Actually, they were considered protected minorities, like Jews and Christians were in the Islamic Republic, and there were some Muslims that actually converted to Zoroastrianism, and that's technically a capital offense in Islam, and they were not arrested for it. Okay? So that shows you that this idea that, Khomeini's regime was a religious theological tyranny, that's not 100% true. Okay, there was tolerance of protected minorities. The only one that didn't fare well tended to be the Baha'i faith, and I'll talk to you about them later. They're considered a Muslim apostate offshoot. Okay, and that's why they had it bad in Iran. But we'll get to that. Now there are other hands up, other questions. Speak to me.
I'm not sure if you know, but
maybe I do, maybe I don't.
The ones that are in Rockland County, what nationality are they? Like, did they?
Good question. they would have to have traced their ancestry to Iran, or basically to Iran through India. Okay? There are only 200,000 Zoroastrians in the world today, and 30,000 of them are Zoroastrians, meaning residing in Iran. Okay, there's a problem in Mumbai because you have some wealthy Hindus living in skyscrapers, and they could see the vultures pick the flesh or skeletons in dachshunds from that height, and they were complaining about it because you wake up early in the morning and you have your snap, crackle, and pop Rice Krispies, and then you see skeletons there. You're not going to think this is going to be a great day.
There's actual video footage of a dachshund on YouTube.
Oh yeah, it's not for the faint of heart. Let's put it away. It's not an appetite enhancer. Okay, you know, it's like looking in, you know, in the kitchen, back kitchen of Imperial Hunan or something. You know, it's a disaster. Yeah.
So what happens